This is episode 1 of my Hellman's Kitchen family-style budget-friendly series. I'm going to be teaching you how to cook a delicious family-sized portion of Italian sausage and spinach with marinara. It's a really easy meal you can make at home in 30 minutes or so that is super delicious and won't break the bank. To help you grocery shop more efficient and cost-effective, I'm going to sit down at the end of the episode to explain a complete breakdown of the groceries and the costs. This should really help focus your grocery store run by shopping with a plan, instead of doing the inevitable overshop and overspend I've done a million times too. This particular meal for a family of 4 comes out to about $5 to $7 per serving. Did you realize a staggering 24% of military families face food insecurity? It's unacceptable. That is why Let's Chow has united myself, Stronghold Pantry, and comedian Ashley Gutermuth to address this very serious problem. Through our partnership, we are teaching military families how to make affordable, healthy dinners at home. We're proud to promote culinary education, financial empowerment, and community engagement for our nation's veterans, service members, and their families. Before I begin teaching, I want to talk to you about Let's Chow, which is a nonprofit designed to provide services for military veterans through cooking therapy, cookware donations, culinary education, and business advice for anyone from home chefs to aspiring food truck or restaurant owners. They manage veteran-run food trucks in Annapolis, Atlantic City, Fort Lauderdale, and San Diego. Let's Chow also offers online digital training at their website, where you can find a 10-lesson program that will take you from knife cuts to perfect steak dinner and prepare you for a national certificate in food service sanitation management. This recipe is great since it doesn't require a ton of ingredients and it's pretty quick to make. This is a meal my crew in the Coast Guard loved when I cooked, since I'd always make a ton of it, which meant big portions because, you gotta eat this meal like an Italian. First, you're gonna coat your sausage in a medium-sized bowl with olive oil, salt and pepper, and a good amount of fresh thyme. We keep it really simple since later we'll be adding fresh chopped garlic as we saute everything together. After the sausage is seasoned, cover and place it in your fridge while we prepare the rest of the meal. This will give the time for the sausage to really marinate. Always remember to salt your water for pasta so it'll add to the flavor. Boil your water until it's at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Add and stir your pasta until it comes back to a boil. While our pasta is cooking and our sausage is marinating, we're going to prep our veggies and set them aside for later. Slice your onion a little thin so it breaks down easier in the pan, and rough chop your fresh garlic so you get a nice chunky garlic flavor in the dish. Separate your chopped garlic into 2 piles, since we'll be using one to cook the sausage and the other to directly flavor the entire dish. Once your pasta timer goes off, we stop the cooking process so it doesn't get all mushy. If it does get mushy, we're gonna have a problem. Simply drain your pasta and run cold water over it. Now lay out your mise en place, which is really just a fancy way for getting your shit set up before you cook. We're gonna cook our sausages in a medium hot skillet to get a nice sear on them, which should take about 5 minutes or so on each side. Since I'm using chicken sausages, I need to cook them until the internal temp is 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Towards the end, add 1 pile of chopped garlic, coating them nicely. Then take them off, setting them aside to carry over cook while cooking the rest of the recipe. Next, saute the sliced onions with a bit more olive oil. When you slice your sausage, slice them on a bias, which is a 45-degree angle. This gives a more tender bite to them and increases the surface area on the meat. Now that your sliced onions are super juicy, toss in your sliced sausages to marry the flavors and heat back up the meat. Now we can also add in the second pile of chopped garlic, which is really going to amp up the flavor profile of the dish. Next, we're going to pour in our marinara sauce. Get it all in there until it starts bubbling hot. That means it's ready to add in your spinach. Go a couple handfuls at a time, which is going to cook quicker than you would expect, probably about 20 to 30 seconds or so tops. Just make sure to stir together everything really nicely. Then we're going to dump in your cooked pasta, making sure to gently stir it into the dish so you don't break your noodles. If you do, we might also have a problem. Another positive of this meal is we're not using that many dishes. 100% something my E2, E3 mess cooks would have appreciated back in the day on the ship. And currently, my wife probably appreciates when it's her turn to do the dishes. You can serve 4 people easily with this recipe, but if you're hosting more people or want to freeze a bunch of it, just multiply the ingredients by that number. I'm going to break down the cost of making 4 servings of this Italian sausage and spinach with marinara. And also teach you how to make your grocery list, which will help you shop more efficiently and save money. So this spreadsheet might look a little detailed, but if you get in the habit of thinking through each meal like this, I guarantee it's going to improve your food habits and save you money. So when I planned cycle menus in the Coast Guard for a couple hundred sailors, I needed to plan 3 meals per day, 7 days a week for 6 to 8 weeks or so. Then we'd cycle through the menu again, hence the cycle menu. So this really hit 2 goals. One was to change up the options for the crew to make it, as fun as it could eat on a ship. 2 was more important, so we could buy food in bulk and plan for months in advance, storing stuff in the freezer. The same strategy can be applied to your home grocery inventory pretty easily. First, you're going to need to break down the recipe into your protein, your starch, your vegetable, plus any additional sides. Like for this recipe, we got our bread and our Parmesan cheese here. Then you're going to really think through the recipe, writing out each ingredient it'll need and the amount. Finally, you're going to put together your grocery list after you look through your pantry to see what you already have for this recipe. That's going to help avoid over shopping and overspending. I do it enough, I'm sure everybody does, but this is to help curb that from happening. For instance, you likely are going to have olive oil, salt, and pepper already. When I write out my groceries, I use the reminder app on my iPhone. I'll enter all the food items into it with the amount of each. Then after that, I'll drag each into the 3 categories of meats, starches, and vegetables, which really helps me grocery shop more efficiently because everything's together, right? Which saves me time, which saves me money. Now you don't really need to use the spreadsheet like I'm doing here, but maybe use a notepad or a piece of paper and do a simplified version of this for your meal plan. Start off slow, maybe do it for, a recipe a week until you get comfortable with it. Then before you know it, maybe you'll be ready to order a couple $100,000 worth of food for deployment. Who knows? For just $4, you can pay it forward by donating at www.letschow.org and pay for someone's meal. It takes just $4 to prepare a hot, restaurant quality style meal for someone in need. That meal also provides 15 training minutes to the veterans and military spouses in the training program. $4, $8, $40, or even $400, you're gonna make a huge difference in helping us fight food insecurity while providing training and education to the military community. If you know someone who is a veteran or military spouse who's a really good cook, you like going over there to eat a lot, or interested in starting a culinary business, please tell them about Let's Chow today. Hope you enjoyed this recipe at home with your family or friends, or use it as a weekly meal prep, or throw in the freezer. It's a great freezer option as well. One way to support my YouTube channel is to simply like this video and subscribe to my Hellman's Kitchen YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you'll know as soon as I release my next video. You can find more information on my veteran-owned business at hellmanskitchen.com. If you're a food entrepreneur, then make sure to check out my Veteran Foodie podcast, where the mission is to educate military-connected food business owners by spotlighting other entrepreneurs who share their experience and advice. Tune into my podcast on any major podcast platform or watch the video version on my YouTube channel.